guys, welcome back to my channel. Savia here. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for checking us out. Today, as the title says, I am doing a tutorial for hooded eyes like mine. It's just kind of a fun smoky eye, my kind of go-to, and it's great for beginners. So if it's something that you've been wanting to learn, especially if you do have hooded eyes, then definitely keep watching. Make sure you subscribe before you leave a comment and a thumbs up. And as always, we are so thankful that you're here. Love you guys all. Alright, so today we're going to jump right into this tutorial. Like I said, I am going to be doing it for hooded eyes like mine. So if you have a hooded eye like I do, this is going to be a great tutorial to show you how to get your makeup and how to do a nice crease and all that jazz. So we're going to jump right into it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually carve out my eyebrows. I am going to be using the NYX eyeshadow base. It is like this. It's almost it's a good dupe of the MAC Paint Pot in Ochre, I believe it's called. And I'm going to be using a cream shadow brush by Unique. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good chunk of that on both sides of my brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and carve that out like so. As you can see, you just want to drag it right underneath the eyebrow. And this is a good trick too. If you have little like sparse hairs that need to be plucked, this is a good way to just kind of go over them and conceal them. That way they're not just kind of showing out everywhere. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to apply the rest right as a primer on my eye, right like that. So now our brow is carved out and our eye primer is on. Now that our eyes are primed, what I'm going to do, I am going to be using the Sephora Pro palette, the warm shades. I'm going to take this shade right here. It's a very neutral shade. I like to say they're like bone shades almost. And I'm going to take a brush by Sigma, E-Shading E55. And I'm just going to take that brush and I'm going to put that all on top of the primer. Now, whenever you do a primer, you typically want to try to do this step as well because the primer will be a little bit tacky. Now, if you go in with just a color right on top of your lid, it's going to be a little bit chunky. So if you do this step, it'll smooth out your whole eye. I can't talk today. It'll smooth out your whole surface so that when we go in and start putting shades on it, it'll be really smooth. Please I apologize for my voice. I have an awful congestion cold right now and it sounds terrible. So with hooded eyes, we do not have a defined crease. So our optical bone actually sticks out, whereas most people it would go in, and most people have like a nice defined crease. So with you have hooded eyes like I do. Oh, sorry, I guess on my eye. Okay, got it. So if you have hooded eyes like I do, what we have to do is really start defining that crease and kind of making our own. So the first thing I do is I always go in with a transition shade, and this is typically like a light brown, kind of nude beige shade. And I'm gonna take my MAC 224 brush, and I'm gonna start going and placing that where I want the crease to be. So if you're looking right at a mirror, you're gonna go just above where that line is. And I'm going to start going back and forth and just like windshield wiper motions and then out to the end of my brow right there. And as you can see, it's starting to get more defined. It's giving us more of a hollow, and you can just kind of go once your shade runs out. If you lose a little bit of product, I'm just going to go in, and you want to do it with a very light hand. I'm just going to go back in and again just kind of go back and forth. You also want to blow it up because if you're like me, I have a lot of space between where my lid is and where my brow is. I want to create the illusion that that's smaller and give it more dimension. So when you're done with your transition color, you want it to look like something a little bit like this, where there's no harsh lines. It's very fluid, it's very soft, and it gives us a nice base to start building more color on. Moving along to our next shade, we're going to stay in the realm of these warmer tones. I feel like they work for all skin tones. I'm going to go to the shade right next to it, this shade right here. It's a little bit deeper brown, and I am going to be using my MAC 217 brush, which if you watch my videos, you know this is my favorite brush. It is great for carving out creases. And so what we're going to do, you want to get the product right on the end, tap it out. And again, you want to make sure you're looking directly at yourself in a mirror and going right above where your natural line is, where you can see my line. And again, just start very slowly in the middle going back and forth and starting to carve out that crease. Now this one, you don't want to blow up. You don't want to take your product and start blowing it up towards your brow. You want to keep it very, very soft right in that crease. It's okay if you bring it down on your lid just a little bit. That'll also give it a nice gradient effect. So like that. So now you have a nice, as you can see the difference, this one is nice. It's starting to get more hollow and deeper, whereas this one, it's still very open. You can't really see a crease, so we're gonna keep doing that. Let me do the other one and we'll move on to the next shade. Now that we have our deeper shade, and we're gonna go one shade darker just to keep it going. I want it really a nice warm shade. I'm gonna take this one right here with that same brush, and what I'm gonna do is just, again, go in that crease, but I'm going to keep it on the outer portion, so like the middle to outer. And then I'm also going to take that color and just kind of drag it a little bit down onto the lid to the middle, so right there, so that we can start building that pigment on the lid as well, and really just pushing that in there. Now this will also warm up the colors. I love this shade. It's just so fall and warm, and it'll give us a lot more dimension and depth in that look. So you can leave it like this as far as the crease goes. However, I'm going to go one shade darker just because I kind of want a smokier look. I'm going to take this deep brown right here, and I'm going to take a more pointed brush. This one is from Unique. It is called a crease brush. I think of it more as a pencil brush though. It's really good for that outer corner. And I'm just going to take it again and place it right on that outer corner, and kind of bringing it down on the lash line, smudging it in. And then again, just the very, very outer corner, just kind of flaring it out. So just like that, this gives it a nice smoky look. As you can see, it just kind of smokes out the outer corner and it looks very pretty. Moving on to the lid, I'm going to take this very pretty, it's like a champagne, I love it, and I'm going to use that on my lid. Now you can do this dry or you can do it wet. I prefer wet. I'm just going to take a little bit of Smashbox, the primer water, and just a flat shader brush. I love the look of eyeshadows when they are wet. I just feel like it gives such a pretty look. And I'm just going to start that. Again, we want to make sure you're looking straight on into the mirror. And we're going to bring it up a little bit into the crease so you can see, because we want our eyes to look more open. Since our eyes are hooded, we want it to look more open. You're just going to bring that a little bit into the crease. Oh, sorry, nose itch. And then again, right, like we're gonna take it 3/4 of the way, so it should look like this. Now once you get done with that and you have it, and you can see it looks very open, we're going to go back in with that dark brown shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it right here in the outer corner, and then use my finger just to lightly tap it and blend those colors so there's no harsh lines. Now you want it to look something like that, and it is so pretty. You have both eyes done. As you can see, I used both that champagne on both eyes. I love it, and especially wet, I just feel like it gives such a pretty look. I am going to go in with some liquid liner. This one is by Wet n Wild, and it is just in the shade black. I really like it because it gives a very thin brush, so you can really get a tight line in there. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to go in, and I just want to do a little line here, and just a little wing. We're going to wing it out. Like so. You're done with your liquid liner. You want it to look something like that. I'm going to go ahead and put some falsies on, and we will come back and see the final look. So just stay tuned. I've got Beauty by Sevilla lashes. This is the style Dorothy, one of my favorites. I will link the website below where you can get these bad boys. They are reusable up to 15 times with care. And they come, like I said, they come in a cute little storage box so you can store them. And then the tray where you can keep them on there to make sure they're clean. They are by far my favorite lashes. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on these bad boys. We're going to let this dry for about 30 seconds. While I'm waiting for those to dry, I'm going to go ahead and just put some black liner right on my waterline, trying not to go onto my lash line. I'm going to go in with a smudge brush. This one is by Sephora. And I'm just going to take that. This step is optional, but I'm going to take that and go, whoop, try not to make a mess, right on that lower line, and just kind of smudge everything together. Gonna have to clean that up because I made a mess. Sometimes I forget how pigmented these eyeshadows are. They're super pigmented. But like I always say, that's the best thing about makeup. If you do mess up, you can always fix it. Now that our lashes are dry, I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna place those right on our lash line. You want to get it as close to your natural lashes as you possibly can. And I typically do this with tweezers, but I couldn't find them this morning. And it's definitely a lot harder if you don't have tweezers, as you can see. Alright, there we go. There's one lash on. I love these lashes. They're so pretty. And they just like make the whole look, as you can see. I think they just make the look so much better. Alright, so the lashes are on. I went and got my tweezers because it's just with false nails and lashes without tweezers is just possible. Next I'm going to go in with the Benefit They're Real. And I'm just going to go and do my lower lashes here to make sure we have some extra volume. And I'm just going to squiggle that back and forth. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is the final look on how to achieve a nice I guess smoky eye for hooded eyes. I really like how this came out. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you did learn something from it. If you have any questions or comments, definitely just let me know below. Let me know what you want to see next time. And as always, thank you so much for checking out. Make sure you subscribe before you leave. Love you guys all. Mwah. Have a great day.